Let me start by telling you why I'm here, what my mission is, and what I've been trying to do for the last few days. Indeed, since last week, Thursday, when we left Abuja. Once I've done that, I'll say a few words about what I saw here, and then perhaps CPS would open it up to the floor for your questions, which will probably be the most important thing. But the background to this visit is the fact that since last week, Thursday, I've been on a tour of a number of states to see a number of governors in this country. And we've covered a lot of ground. We've been to Enugu, we've been to Anambra, we've been to a few other places, and I'll be going to 2 or 3 more before going back to Arewa, before going back to the north where I live. So that's the mission, and I have assessed what has been going on in those states, interacted closely with those governors. And I think by the time we finish, I would have done about 6 or 7. And it's been very grueling, it's been very difficult, but it's been worthwhile. So as part of that process, the whole idea was to stop at Cross River State, and the governor was very kind, hosted me here, and we went to see the projects, or some of his projects here, for me to be able to see for myself what he had managed to achieve in the state. And of course, I was very impressed with what I saw. If I wasn't, I would say so. And I had never known, I never knew, even I never knew the level of development that has taken place under him over the last few years. So that's really the background, that's why I'm here. When I came here, the governor and I decided to go around together and see what had been done. Rather than for us to be talking about it, he wanted me to see for myself. And we embarked on an 8-hour tour of projects. 8 hours. We inspected a 52-unit, well-furnished housing estate in Ifiang, Ayong, Bakassi, for the Bakassi returnees who were for 18 years camped in a primary school. We said a few words to the press there, and it was a very impressive outing. We went to the Cross Rivers Garment Factory at the Industrial Park, Calabar. We went to the 24,000 bird capacity chicken processing factory, known as Kalachika, situated at the Industrial Park. We went to the rice seed and seeding factory at the Industrial Park. We went to a 23 megawatts power plant located along Parliamentary Extension in Calabar. We went to a 26 megawatt gas-fired power plant in Tinapa, Calabar. We went to an ultra-modern noodles factory located at the Industrial Park in Calabar. We saw and went through the dualization of the Calabar-Odukbani Highway, which is being, we'll talk about the specifics later, but which is being, funded by him, and the federal government has refused. They said they're not going to pay him back, but he's still doing it anyway. We went to the feed mill, which is located at Industrial Park, Calabar. We went to the organic fertilizer plant at the National Industrial Park, Calabar. We went to the bagging factory at the Industrial Park in Calabar. We went to piles and pylon factory located at Akankpa. We went to the West Africa Fabrication Academy, which was very impressive, at Calabar. We didn't actually get there, but we spoke extensively, and I saw a lot of pictures. We didn't have time because it was getting dark, so we couldn't reach the place. But we wanted to visit the 21-meter draft Bakassi deep sea port. But by that time it was getting dark. But I saw the drafts, I saw the pictures, and I was very impressed. Then, of course, there was the Obudu International Airport, which he's building. We didn't go there, but it's just too far away. We wouldn't have been back for many hours. But again, I saw the drafts, I saw the pictures. Then we actually went to the 275 kilometer 6-lane superhighway fitted with ambulatory services from Bakassi Deep Sea Port to the north, which is a very important project as far as I'm concerned. And it's not just ambulatory services. I think there's also a rail service next to it as well. And we'll come back to that when we're discussing specifics. For me, this is probably one of the most important projects in the country going on today, and he's embarking on it. And then, of course, there was that very impressive spaghetti flyover at Udupani. Is that how you pronounce it? Udupani Junction, which is an extraordinary project. It'll have 5 layers And you know, it's just optically, it's a remarkable project. We went to the place, we didn't just view every aspect of it, of each place. The governor explained what was going on. The quality of materials, the quality of machinery. There was nothing that was bought or imported that was made in China. Everything was made in Germany and places like that in terms of the machinery. A lot of the materials that were used were locally sourced. In other words, you build things here rather than import them, and thereby you save a lot of foreign exchange. And in terms of detail, for all these projects, all these things, I was absolutely, blown over by the amount of detail that the governor seemed to know. And you can tell just by looking at his, listening to him on some of these videos. He knew everything about every aspect of every project. And you will testify to that yourselves. I mean, you are correspondents here. It's quite an extraordinary ability to do that, and I was very impressed. And each of these projects are going to be completed. Those that aren't completed already are going to be completed before he leaves. And some of them, for example, the first one we went to, that's a garment factory, has about 3,000 workers there already, all wearing yellow shirts and producing things like face masks and so many other things right now, providing employment. Now, apart from all this that I've said, there's also something that I found interesting. This industrial park, the industrial park that he has created there, he built it out of nothing, as you know. Many Nigerians forget what things were like in the past once development comes. I remember during Obasanjo's regime, and there was so much infrastructural development over the 8 years that he was there. And the economy was improved. Everything changed within 8 years in this country. We became a nation that could hold our heads up high again. And by 8 years later, people forgot that 8 years before when he came in, that, the country was on the verge of disintegration. We were owing everybody. It was a mess. There was nothing working. By the time he left, we had paid off our international debts. We weren't owing anybody. Infrastructure had developed. The economy had stabilized. These are facts, verifiable facts. But people seem to forget 2-3 years after he left office. And of course, they started hurling bricks at him and so on and so forth. And that is why it's important for us to keep emphasizing where a governor or a government gets it right, so that people don't forget. The situation of Cross River State is a very interesting one, as far as I'm concerned. What my own perception of it is this. This was a civil service state before. And basically, there was no money coming in, other than at the end of the month, the civil service will collect their salaries, and things would go on as it's always gone on. But under Governor Ayade, what has happened is very, very different. He has transformed this state from being a civil service state into an industrial state. And I'll explain why I say that. Before he came here, there were no industries in this state at all. There was an attempt to do one factory, and it collapsed. It didn't work. Within the period that he's been here, he has established 33 functional industrial complexes, functional concerns that are ongoing and have created employment, and that is working. 33. Now, this is an extraordinary achievement. I'm flabbergasted, honestly, because I called one of the previous governors. When we finished the tour, I called one of I won't mention his name, I called one of them and I said, look, how come when you were there, it was different, and now look at what has happened in a number of years? And he confirmed to me the facts. And that is a great achievement. And it's an achievement that I think the country, the party, and all of us as Nigerians, that is our party, PDP, and all of us as Nigerians ought to appreciate. 33. So he's transforming the fortunes of this state, bringing it into the 21st century, if you like, waking everybody up, creating employment. And by the time he finishes, it'll be Calabar and Cross River State will be a very different place. He has an industrial park. We saw the one he made in this senatorial district. He has an industrial park, I believe I'm right in saying, in every single senatorial district. Is that correct, Chief Press Secretary?
Yeah, we have one in the south and
yeah.
the north, the one in the central.
Okay, yeah. Built out of nothing, he has created that space. tarred roads, everything is functional, light, and so on and so forth. And he's doing all these projects. And what is he getting from the federal? He has the second lowest amount in terms of revenue allocation. So where he's getting the resources to do all this, I really don't know. But he's doing it, he's getting it, he's paying salaries, he's not owing anybody, he's not borrowing money. And these are things that we should celebrate. And these are efforts that we should talk about and we should commend him and his government for.